Okay, hi and hello. 2025, the last Monday training, and rolling into 2026. Thank you, Rabia. Awesome. Looking forward to having this session. No slides, just me talking. And there we go. So here's my here's my thought. In 2025, a lot of people are asking the question, how do I do this thing? And with the way um, particularly with the way that AI has proliferated, people are asking, how do I prompt AI to do X, whatever X is? And I remain convinced that that is still the wrong question. So, what we're going to talk about today is what I think um, about 2025 in terms of GHL business launch and what I see as the role of GHL business launch in 2026. Again, where GHL business launch fits. Yes, I do some technical training, and particularly, it's less about technical training than it is about troubleshooting and problem solving when people run into issues with high level. And that kind of blends my hat between GHL business launch and bald guy marketing. Bald guy marketing absolutely is a service provider for clients who I serve using high level, and also people who have high level who I serve as a support agency, what I call business model 8, and also some of this GHL business launch, business model 7. So there's some gray area between these two brands. But for the purpose of GHL business launch, what we focus on is how to use high level as your business or in your business, moving forward with your business. The issue is too many people are trying to use a technology and they're constraining their thought process by the technology. They're saying, how do I sell this thing? So with high level, it started out missed call text back. How do I sell MCTB? Well, business owners don't want to buy MCTP. What they want is to stop losing sales when the call is not answered in a timely manner and the potential prospect moves on to the next phone number in the phone book. 2025 rewarded activity. 2025 taught us to think about AI. Oh, that's the other thing. In in um in 2023 at the Level Up Summit, Sean Clark told us regarding high level. 2024 is going to be about stabilization of the platform. Maybe that was 2022, and he was talking about 2023. And then, yeah, I think that was the timeline because then A2P became a huge issue, and 2023 became a lot of emphasis on resolving A2P issues. And if you weren't in that cycle, it's not relevant. We were told again in 2024 that the focus was going to be in resolving in stabilizing the platform. And AI became such a huge opportunity, but also a hot button topic. And so 2025 became all about infusing AI into the totality of the platform. And it just led people to ask more questions about tools. 2025 rewarded activity. What I'm hoping to shape in your mind is the concept that for you, 2025, sorry, 2026 should reward clarity, sequencing, and judgment. 2025 was about tools, and it kept a lot of people busy. What 2026 could be for you is about deciding what and how to use those tools, what to do and how to use those tools to do them moving forward. 2025 was about a just launch it culture. Templates, prompts, automation everywhere. AI acceleration, tool proliferation. Many people were busy, but far fewer built durable businesses. In fact, one of the messages that just came in just now, as I was turning on the live stream, was I had a conversation with a mentor who said, "I'm undervaluing my skill set and I'm underpricing my services." I probably could have intuitively told her that 3 months ago, but I didn't come from the credibility in her specific space that the person that told her that today comes from. Therefore, it came with credibility in the specific case. But it's this specific micro case of exactly what I'm talking about here. The person developed some fantastic skills in 2024 and 2025. And if all that business does is continue to do what they did in 2025, they'll continue to struggle bringing in income, generating income. Narrowing the focus, deciding what is appropriate for that business is what 2026 could be about, should be about for her, and could be about for you. What we're hoping with GHL Business Launch is to help you narrow that focus for you. The shift is to shift from operator thinking to owner thinking, from doer to overseer. There were a lot of people in 2025. I see the ads all the time. I'm a funnel builder. I'm a email marketer. I'm a whatever. I can sell you this. I can sell you Instagram followers. I can sell you YouTube. I can sell you YouTube editing, thumbnail design, and YouTube SEO. The people were asking questions like, what software should I use? What script should I use for this target market? How fast can I launch? Do you need help with that? Here's what I think business owners should be thinking in 2026. This is what GHL Business Launch is trying to help you frame for yourself. What business am I building? Who am I designing the business to serve? Who do I want to serve? What problems am I trying to solve for them? What should be automated and what should not be automated, or at least not be automated yet? Clear thinking beats clever automation. Clear thinking beats clever automation. Clear thinking beats clever automation, no matter how good your AI is. So when I talk about the 9-point marketing plan, I'm describing it as a framework for thinking about your business. Yes, the 9-point marketing plan is the stages of how, or the elements of your how do you go to market, how you take your product or service and put it in front of somebody and give them the opportunity to buy it or not buy it. But for the solo business owner who's making all their decisions between their gut and their head, their entire staff is me, myself, and I. And as of today, I'll argue that what I learned is we can now use AI. And we're going to talk about where AI fits in this in a minute, or in a few minutes, in 20 minutes or so. But that 9-point marketing plan, see, what a business owner who is the entirety of the business in and of themselves doesn't need is a 27-page MBA quality business plan. First of all, in the corporations that have those things, nobody ever reads it anyway. Second of all, if you take that kind of time needed to do all of that writing, you're not moving your business forward. What the 9-point marketing plan gives you is just enough framework to help you not spend too much time thinking on item A, or better yet, not spend too much time thinking about item C when you need to also be thinking about F and R. So think about the 9-point marketing plan this way. Points 1, 2, and 3 are about strategic clarity. 4, 5, and 6 are about converting attention to revenue. And 7, 8, and 9 are about sustainability, sustainable revenue, profitability. Most people skip points 1, 2, and 3 because they think my customer is everyone. I can do anything. I just need cash in the door. But this is where I agree with all of the gurus. Everyone who teaches how to make significant amounts of money in this solo industry, solo marketing agency space advocates for picking a niche. That niche can be either industry or sub-industry specific, or it can be service specific. So database reactivation is a service specific. Missed call text back is a service specific. AI agents is a service specific. Industry is real estate agents or sellers, or a niche seller's agent, or buyer's agent who works with Spanish speaking buyers. No hablo. I'm not qualified. I couldn't do the job. Buyer's agent who works with Vietnamese speaking buyers. There's a very specific niche. And if you have that skill set, you can be the person in your market that does that thing. The go-to. But most people skip this step. They say, I can help anybody. I can do anything that's in the high-level platform. And they sound like everybody else who lists this laundry list. I can do services, and they never capture attention from specific individuals. They just sound like the crowd that a handful of individuals are going to rise above and say, within this thing, I'm really, really good. And I've got 7 or 8 testimonials to confirm that. That's where attention lives. Point 1 is the target audience. Point 2 is the offer or the message for that target audience. Point 3 is the channels, the medium, the media, the places where that message is positioned to reach that audience. AI can help you write the messages. It cannot help you decide who you are meant to serve. It can help you frame your assessment, but it can't help you make that decision for you. It can only help you pull out of yourself the decision. But once you have the decision, it can help you write points 1, 2, and 3. Points 4, 5, and 6. Lead capture, lead nurture, lead close. Identify, grow, sell. Know, like, trust, permission. These are the stages of the marketing process. This is marketing in action. This is doing the promotional work. Lead capture is of the totality of the people that fit in within my target market, item 1, who are the ones who raise their hand and say, tell me more? And if you have a short sales cycle product, it might be, tell me more, that's enough, how do I buy it? If you have a high trust product, if you're a financial advisor, that time frame from individual raising your hand and saying, I want to know more, through the lead nurture of building the know, like, and trust and getting permission to go deeper and deeper, it might be a year and a half or 2 years. It's a much longer sales cycle. Or if it's a luxury kind of product, if you sell boats, the lead nurture might be a couple of years because it's a seasonal product and it's a not necessarily a need product. It's a luxury product. And so the sales cycles are longer. But when the sale comes from earned permission rather than attempts to persuade, when trust i.e. when trust comes first, the sale doesn't become about a script. It becomes about mutually beneficial solutions to problems. So the reason cold DMs and cold emails and cold calling fail isn't because the script is wrong. They fail because they come from a position of assumed authority, and the person sending the message hasn't yet earned authority in that person's life. So, a lesson I learned from one of my brothers this last year, doing retrospective of 2023, 2020, good grief, 2025. A lesson I learned this year was, he said, we were talking about a family dynamic situation. And he says, I have advice for that person, but I know that I don't have authority for that in that person's life to give that advice. They will not hear it, even though it's valid advice for them to consider. The lesson for us in the business world is you might have the perfect solution, but if you have not earned trust from the person you're talking to, they have not granted you authority in their life to give them that solution. They might, in fact, have the problem, but they have not yet given you permission to offer them a solution. So you might have the perfect point 1, target audience identified. You might have the perfect offer for that audience, but the particular member hasn't raised their hand and said, I trust you to tell me more. It's not that cold DMs or cold emails or cold calls are an invalid marketing technique. It's how do you frame the initial conversation when you're using a cold DM, one-to-one cold strategy. And one of the things we'll talk about in the course of 2026, we'll come back to the core 4 marketing framework, marketing systems. Since Devin's not doing regular part of the training, then I'm gonna have to do that portion of the training. Normally that falls within his lane. when people say too early in the conversation, would you like help with that? They put the listener in a place of having to make a decision when trust doesn't exist yet. When trust has already been established through a solid ongoing relationship, and the listener knows that the sender does have a valid solution for the problem, then the question, would you like help with that, turns into, yes, let's explore what that would look like. Similarly, there are a whole bunch of people in this space who say, I build funnels. Or they know what a funnel is because they've seen a product which shall be named nameless, but whose initials rhyme with ClickFunnels. Or within the high level platform, there's a builder that you can use to build funnels, or you can use to build websites. And the only real functional difference between a funnel and a website in the platform is a website has a navigation menu, and all the pages are positioned equally within the hierarchy of the builder. And the nav menu can either go to all the pages, or you can have a submenu to specify which pages you go to. A funnel, by structure, when a person ends up on a funnel page, they can either leave, or they can click on the button you want them to go to, or there are some cases where you can set it up to it goes to the next page. Usually we don't put a navigation menu on a funnel page because we want the person to go through a specific structured journey. What the funnel is not the structure of the landing page. The funnel is the sequence of experiences, the customer journey that we're trying to lead them on, from information, awareness, attention. That's the on the landing page. There's a VSL, video sales letter. There's some text that describes the thing and what problem the thing solves. If the person then engages with that landing page, we take them to the next stage of the customer journey. The funnel isn't the landing page. The funnel is the customer journey, the sequence of experiences that lead to a sales opportunity. Whether that sales opportunity happens in email, whether it happens on a Zoom call, whether it happens on a landing page with a form that they fill out. Thinking about a funnel is about thinking about what the customer's journey is going to look and feel like, and how much trust that person has to have to take the next step that we're asking them to take. And then points 7, 8, and 9. 7 is the customer experience in this purchase. 8 is the lifetime value of the customer. It's the repeat sales, it's the upsells and downsells, it's the subscription that goes along with the service. It's how we continue to provide enough value to that customer over time that customer continues to provide us a revenue compensation, a cash compensation for that that continued engagement. And point 9 of the 9-point marketing plan, referrals or reviews or testimonials, is when this customer experience 7, lifetime value of the customer 8, is so high relative to what they've expended in dollars, relative to the value the improvement in the value they've experienced in improving their own life experience is high enough that they turn around to their family and friends that have the same problem and say, this is a solution to the problem. They have reached the point where they're willing to refer you as a possible solution to other people. I saw a post, businesses aren't failing because they aren't doing the right thing. They're failing because they're not automating. I think that's too focused on the technology. I'm submitting that they don't fail because they're not getting, oh, and actually it was this line. Businesses don't fail because they don't get leads. It's it's a similar, I mean, it's not quoting, but it was a similar kind of statement. Most businesses don't fail because they can't get leads. The statement was they're failing that person's take on it was they're failing because they're not automating their lead generation process. The point of the 9 business model framework is I'm arguing that the businesses aren't failing because they can't get leads, and they're not failing because they can't automate getting leads. They're failing because they're not thinking past the first sale. They're not creating the systems of follow-up that generate points 7, 8, and 9 of the 9-point marketing plan. The reason that I advocate for the 9-point marketing plan, which is based on Alan Dibb's the 1-page marketing plan book, is it's a solid enough framework to give you as a solo business owner, solopreneur, freelancer, solo consultant, enough depth in your thought process without being so intense in staff analytics that you spend all the time developing the marketing plan and never going to market. And here's how AI fits in the system for you without becoming the system, without becoming the strategy. When you have the 9-point marketing plan as your framework, you can tell it, this is the overarching idea. Now let's dig into step 1, the audience. Okay, good. Now let's dig into step 2, the offer. Okay, now good. Now that we've thought through the offer, do we need to go back and reevaluate the audience? Yes, no, good to go. Okay, what channels are we going to put that offer into in order to get in front of the right audience? When we have someone who hears that offer in the channel start to engage, what is our lead capture? It doesn't necessarily need to be a funnel page with a opt-in form. It could be an automated social media comment DM that turns into an automated DM. You can ask AI for step 5 for my lead nurture. What are the stages? How long do I should I anticipate people being in my funnel before they're turning into sales? And just for purposes, I'm not going to talk 6, 7, and 8, but for purpose of this discussion, you can add, once you've built all of those thought processes into the chat, now when you ask the chat, okay, how do we generate referrals from that? Now it has all of this context that gives you specific suggestions that are tailored to and apply to your situation. AI can amplify your thinking. AI can expand your thinking. So you say this. I had a case just yesterday where I said, well, what about this? And it said, yes. And in the middle of that, I realized it taught me something new. And I actually, the next question I asked it was expanding on this idea. AI can help you draft messages. It can take your basic idea and expand it into a text that someone who doesn't think and act like you can follow your thought process. So you're not using shortcuts that make sense to you because you've taught your AI how to think and expand your thoughts. It can recognize the patterns. What you should not use AI to do is replace or substitute your own judgment. You are still the human. You're the boss. Your AI should work for you. You should also not use AI as a business model. Yes, you might have a product that is an AI-based product, but you shouldn't just say, chat, what should I do? And just do whatever chat says. You should drive the train. Just let AI help you frame the guardrails. Don't say the first thing to it, and whatever it gives you back, copy and paste it as if it's your own thought process without actually establishing clarity in your own mind whether it's the right response in this situation. Using AI or automation in general to do something that you would not do manually is unethical. Using automation and AI to do the thing that you know you should be doing, but often don't have the time to accomplish the task to standard, that is a responsible use of AI. Treat the frameworks as guidelines, prompting as a way to clarify your thinking, and AI as your chief of staff, not subjugating yourself as the CEO to the chief. Use AI as your thinking assistant, and you maintain the role as the CEO. So here's how GHL Business Launch is structured. And going into 2026, this is how what you should expect to see from me and from the people that I draw in to help me build out this framework, to give you different perspectives, because it all shouldn't be my version of reality. The Facebook group that this is currently live streaming into is about getting attention and orienting the community to how we help the community. It is public. It is discoverable. The content that we produce on these Monday trainings is repetitive on purpose. We are talking at the conceptual level about what you might do. And the reason we're focused on being a study hall instead of a marketplace is there are plenty of other Facebook groups which are marketplaces where you can post your job requests and you can post your job offers or your project offers, and people can have a feeding frenzy about who should get hired. We're about, if you're going to be in that group, you know which group you're in, why you're in it, and what your message in that group is. Clarity comes from the study hall. If we let GHL Business Launch become a marketplace, it just becomes this chaotic bazaar of chattering voices. And it becomes a distraction to the thought process that we're trying to teach. What we do here is build awareness. We build context for the conversations that revolve around the 9-point marketing plan and the 9 business models, because those are frameworks for thinking about how we engage in those other places. And when you're ready to go to a deeper conversational application, the collab group, which we're also live streaming this particular training to simultaneously, and that's why I'm checking multiple places for whether there's messages coming in. And thank you, Wendy. I see and responded to your comment. That is a private community where you can get deeper support because the content is curated uh, to help you address your issues. And when you have an issue that isn't addressed already, we have the capacity to dig deeper. What we do there is questions and answers and skill development. And what I would love is for it to develop into an accountability community for the purpose of GHL Business Launch. Facebook is where you learn how to think about your own business. Collab is where you practice what you've learned to think in a closed environment where you can ask me, how is this going to come across? Is this going to communicate the message that I'm trying to communicate? Before you go out into those bazaars that are full of noise and chaos and say, this is how I solve a particular problem for a particular audience. We have this as a recording so that you don't have to be live Monday afternoon, my time, or East or US time, Monday evening, Europe and Africa time, and listen into this training event. If you want to participate live in the training, some of the sessions will be deliberately framed to be interactive. Most of the time, I will have a script, and if I get taken off the script by questions that come in, we'll have the flexibility over the course of 2026 to adapt and say, okay, let's focus right now on this question that's coming in. Can pick up the training going on into the year. Plenty of opportunity and flexibility for that. In general, the reason the training is recorded is so that if you're in Pacific time somewhere, you're in the Philippines or Australia or Eastern Asia, it's the middle of the night when I'm doing this training. You don't need to be on this training line. You can access the training later. It's on Facebook for 30 days. It's in Collab for indefinitely, and you can access it later. What we're trying to give you in GHL Business Launch to Collab through what we originally were calling the OmniHub Challenge is a 90-day program access to a way of thinking, a pattern. Because 30 days is enough time to develop new habits, new skills, new approaches, or new patterns. It's often not enough to generate income. A lot of people who sell high level in an affiliate model, especially the business model to value-added affiliates. High levels offer itself. There's the business model is one. Pure affiliate says it's either a 14-day trial or a 30-day trial. And there are a lot of people preaching you can be profitable in 30 days. Okay, there are plenty of examples of people who have made their first sale in 30 days. There's plenty of examples who have made a few sales in the first 30 days. Rarely do I think it is reasonable for you to expect of yourself that you can replace a full-time living wage job in 30 days. I think it's unrealistic, and that's one of the reasons that I'm anti-guru. I'm opposed to the people who are selling this vision of you can be successful in 14 days, you can be successful in 28 days, whatever that time frame is that they're trying to sell. Because realistically, your 30-day subscription cycle is inside your prospect's budgeting cycle. So even if you happen to be a blind squirrel who gets a nut once in a while. You find the right prospect at the right time with the right offer, and you put it in front of them and they say yes. It's just as likely that they say, yes, I need to start at the start of the next month, or I need to start in the middle of the month, or I need to start at the end of the month, as it is that they would say, yes, how do I pay you today? 30 days is enough time to develop the pattern. By the time you get to the 35th, 40th day, you're just repeating the cycle. You've refined your message, you've refined your audience, you've built your business model, your step 4 lead capture system. You've had the initial framework of your business, of your step 5 lead nurture system, and you're just on repeat. You've built that thing in 30 days. It's starting to work. You've maybe gotten a sale or two, but really you're not going to have a good, solid financial signal of whether you're on the right track for 90 days. 3 cycles, not 1 cycle. What you can reasonably expect is that within 12 months, you have either achieved stability or you know for sure that you need to pivot. If you have a business ramp, your existing financial support, your savings, or your full-time job that you're working, that is not at least 90 days and preferably closer to 180 days through 6 months, you're probably going to be unpleasantly surprised with their results in the first 30 days. People who burn all their bridges and say, I'm going to do this thing full time and I'm going to turn it into an income in 30 days are just as likely to be negatively surprised as positively surprised. And I would argue more likely to be negatively surprised. I just don't have statistical documentation to prove it. I only know it anecdotally. If someone promises you success in 7 days, if they say you will see results in 7 days, they are not selling you a business model. They are not selling you a business strategy. They're selling hope and a dream. Yes, you have to do the work to make money. That's a really good observation, Wendy. Okay. Here's what success looks like in 2026. When you think like a business owner in 2026, you use the tools to achieve results within the framework of your strategy. You don't let the tools drive you to a place that is emotionally and spiritually unhealthy for you. Success in 2026 should look like fewer tools, not more, better sequencing, not randomness, clearer decisions, not the shiny object syndrome, ping pong ball back and forth between options. Cleaner conversations because you know who you're talking to and what your message to them is. And sustainable systems, not randomly trying to chase every good idea that comes along. How to think like a business owner in 2026 isn't about moving faster, it's about moving intentionally. In the Facebook group, we help you shape what your intention is going to be, what you want your future to look like, In the collab group, we dig deeper into how to implement that, how to thinking about that, how to apply what you're learning in the Facebook group and in the trainings within the collab group. And if I'm doing my job well, I'm helping you to learn how to ask better questions. So, if you want hype, if you want a guru, if you want cheerleading, if you want a mindset coach, there are better places for you to go. There are groups that provide all of those. Some of them provide all of them, but there are certainly groups that provide each of them. But if you want to clarify your understanding of what it is that you are building, stick around. 2026 is going to be really interesting. I'm Keith Bashirs. I'm the bald guy. I have small businesses with marketing, theory, tactics, techniques, training, and technology. And right now I'm talking about within GHL Business Launch, we help you clarify what business you're actually in.